Welcome back to the GGuard Challenge here on Gosu TV1. This is going to be Game 3 of the Best of 3 series between GGuard Esports and MVP Hot6. What's on the stake, or what's on the line right now, or what's at stake for these teams is, well, nothing really for GGuard. If they win, they get a nice pat in the back by their manager, and if MVP Hot6 win, they get a pretty cool $500 for this one best of 3. So, that said, we're going to get into the draft. I'm GrandisV, and once again, I'll be joined by Danelie.
Yay! So we're actually in Game 3 of this Best of 3 series. This is the first Game 3 of all the series so far. GGuard for the previous 2 series against Can't Say Whips and... oh man, I forgot who they played against first. Was it Mineski? I forgot who it was, the first team that they played. But the previous 2 teams that GGuard have played, they have managed to take them in 2-0 sweeps. This is the first game that they've actually had to go through a third game, so they're probably feeling a little bit of pressure because the $500 are getting a little bit closer to MVP Hot6 than they would originally like. I kind of wonder where this $500 is coming from. Is it coming from their salary? Is it coming from their pocket money? I have no idea, but I'm pretty sure GGuard, they want to defend this $500 because I feel like it's going to be from a very soft spot. But I'm hoping this time GGuard actually draft a little bit more standard, because we looked at their last draft and, to say the least, it was quirky. It wasn't even a standard draft. It wasn't just the fact that it was a lot of heroes that GGuard didn't play. They play those heroes a lot. It's just they drafted them in such a way that I feel like they drafted themselves into a hole where if they did not execute in the fights, then they would always be left on the back foot. So this time, I hope it's something a little bit different. Whereas MVP Hot6, they've got to do the same as last game. They just got to draft to their strengths. And if they can draft themselves into a position where it's easier to execute, then that's great. It means that they're going to have less room for error in the team fights. But we have no idea what's going on. We're going to get a troll first pick, though, from GGuard. They see the troll and they say, okay, troll is ours.
Yeah, no big surprises there, and I don't think that MVP Hot6 was surprised either with the troll first, since they did ban out the Batrider and Queen of Pain first after all. So, yeah, I'm not exactly sure if Queen of Pain is scarier than Troll, but maybe, just maybe, they wanted to make sure that their mid laner would have a better time. The chances of Troll actually getting through draft are slim to none. I think there's been like one game in recent memory that Troll wasn't picked or banned. It's really just very rare, and even then, pretty much just as rare to see him not picked up in the first stage or banned out in the first stage. Just such a versatile hero that never really has any downside. He's really good in the lane, good fighting in the mid game, and scales pretty well late. There's really nothing wrong with him. He can be kited around, he can be dealt with, but it's pretty hard to do so. Let's see what tools MVP Hot6 are going to bring to the table in order to accomplish that. I'd like to see Jerix on his line again.
Oh god, Jarek's not a lion. He did very good plays. The Earth Spikes, the Hexes, and also just getting those key Finger of Deaths on those heroes that were just incredibly annoying. I kind of want him to play Earth Spirit because I've heard so much about the Earth Spirit, but he's probably not going to pick it because nobody picks Earth Spirit. I want to see Earth Spirit in the meta. He's so fun to watch. I guess he's super annoying in pubs because I hate playing against Earth Spirit myself. But again, first pick Zeus. A lot of emphasis on the Zeus pick for MVP, but I guess it's to be expected. They want that vision. He also gives you a lot of nuking potential. The static field, never underestimate the static field. If a Zeus can survive during a team fight, that 11% health reduction is massive, especially when you're running heroes that are going to be incredibly big during the team fight. Like you said with the troll, yeah, you can kite him. I think he's a little bit difficult to kite just because you can just switch between the ranged and the melee form, so I guess that is another advantage to Troll. But yes, he's very versatile. You can run him as a solo core if you really want him to go in that direction. You can run duo tri-cores with the Troll Warlord, and then you can also go for split push just because you're going to have the battle trance affect everybody on your team. So they can go for fighting, they can go for a push. GGuard can do anything, but they're going to pick up Yamate Storm Spirit very early because they know if they don't pick it up now, they're not going to get it during the second phase.
And at the moment, Storm doesn't really have that much lockdown to worry about. There's a lot of damage for sure from MVP Hot6, but at the moment, especially if he's going to be playing the support Zeus as he did in game number 1 and 2, they're going to be relying very heavily on Jerix's hero in order to get that CC out. And with Lion off of the table, that's probably the best hero that they could have gotten in order to get the dual disables. Earthshaker also pretty decent, but there is going to be a pretty high emphasis on support bans in the second stage, as there's only one picked up in the first.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. So, interestingly enough, we're going to get a lot of support bans, or you could say two support bans coming out from both teams. GGuard, they're respecting this Lion from Jirax. They're going to deny it this time. Whereas MVP, they look at Net and his Earthshaker and they say, you're not getting this, buddy. You're not getting it today. So, no Earthshaker, no Lion. Are they going to keep on going with these support bans though? Because both teams, they need supports. GGuard in particular needs two, whereas MVP, they can just pick up one more and just bump that Zeus back into the support position what he has for the majority of the game. Or we might see a core Zeus this game, although he's going to have a little bit of a difficult laning phase up against a Storm Spirit, I suppose. When Storm gets level 6, it's a very high chance that your Zeus could get ganked. So I feel like this is still going to be that position for Zeus during this series, because the vision is so useful, especially when you're running a Juggernaut. Tree will be the ban.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I was just about to say that's really interesting to me actually. It would probably be a Jerax tree, and it would leave them very lockdown light when it comes to their supports. But I suppose tree is really annoying early on, especially for Storm Spirit trying to get kills. That extra damage block globally is a really nice boon to have on your side, and maybe that is also going to flag that they're not going to go for any further tower pushing heroes other than the Troll Warlord. Maybe they're also scared of just getting completely map dominated if the Agnum Scepter ever comes out from the tree with mass vision from Zeus and Tree Protector offering effectively infinite sentries and obs. That sounds pretty good, but yeah, I don't know. It would be really interesting to hear what GGuard's idea behind that troll ban is. Let's see, Witch Doctor banned out by Hot6 themselves, and let's see how they angle this draft with this next pick. An Axe pick looks pretty nice here.
Yeah, I could definitely see an axe for both teams, actually. Both teams would love to get their initiators, unless MVP wants to go for the initiating Juggernaut like they did last game, but axe will be picked up by MVP Hot6. So they have secured at least a nice initiator. They have their safe lane carry. So for the moment, MVP, they just need to secure a solid mid lane to just keep the damage output up. I think they could get away with something with more utility, just because they have a Zeus so far, as well as a Juggernaut, and also the Axe. Axe does plenty of damage himself from the early to mid game. So I guess they could go for something like a Puck for a little bit more team fight control. The silence will be so good on the Storm Spirit as well. But GGuard themselves, they're going to pick up a Lina, so they're going to amp up their magical damage with the Laguna Blade. There's a lot of killing potential on GGuard though if they decide to go for rotations, but likewise could be said for MVP. If they rotate, they've got a lot of tools to really kill these squishies.
Yeah, for sure. Right now they're lacking a setup stun until Axe gets his Blink Dagger, but Scarif Mage...
This.
Yeah, this is going to amp up the damage from the Zeus. Mystic Flare plus Call is a pretty sick combo. Concussive Shot plus the magic amp damage onto Spin is really good, and it works pretty tightly with the rest of their team. Also just offering any amount of quick disable to stop Storm Spirit from zipping freely through the fights. All around, it's good.
Yeah, I have no issues. I think the only problem I have with MVP's draft is they have very little lockdown for the Troll Warlord. They only really have the Axe with the Berserker's Call, so they're going to have to finalize this draft with something that can keep the Troll in place with a disable, whether it be a stun, whether it be a something. They just have to make sure that, yes, you have a silence now to deal with the Storm Spirit, but that silence is not going to do jack to your Troll Warlord. So if you can't finish him off with the Axe Berserker's Call, I don't know what will. But keep in mind, MVP, they do have a lot of burst. If they want to focus him down, they've got the Mystic Flare. They can just silence up the Storm Spirit, just ignore him, go straight for the Troll, because he's pretty much the money hero on the side of GGuard. Unless they're going to go for something quirky and, I don't know, go aggressive trialing with the Troll Warlord and grab something a little bit more greedy to put in the safe lane. Because GGuard, they like to do it sometimes, but I feel like this is just too important of a game to go for any of those shenanigans. They're drafting pretty seriously this time. You can look at this draft and say, this is so much better than last game. Whereas if you look at MVP, again, still solid, still well-rounded. So they really are taking this $500 seriously. I would too. I would love $500, but unfortunately, you got to share it with your teammates. So it's only 100. It's not fair.
Yeah, definitely. So,
Why?
GGuard, why can't they be greedy? Either way, 30.
I know.
Yeah, 30 seconds on the reserve time for GGuard as they contemplate this next pick. Lina, for the time being, looks to be played as a support, so, well, what's left for GGuard? If they want another hero to start fights, a Batrider could be pretty nice to throw towards the offlane and probably one of the more likely picks, but it's actually going to be a Sand King. Okay, I love this.
This is a net Sand King. This guy knows how to play Sand King. We're in for it. This is going to be a fun game. Yamate Storm Spirit, we've got the net Sand King. I have no idea if there's any MVP heroes, I guess. Yeah, Spirit, please.
Well, you got the He and Zeus, so that's pretty good. But
I
yeah, as
guess.
you
That's just
said,
the Zeus, man. Come on. The Zeus plays. All Zeus has to do is just press the win button. Thunder God's right, and that's it. Uh, I'm delusional.
yeah, fair enough. Let's. Oh dear. Yeah, Sen King is one of Net's signature heroes, and for good reason too. His burst strikes are almost always on point, gives GGuard a really good way to start fights and make it hard for the Juggernaut to move freely throughout the engagements. It's going to be a clockwork ban. Winter's heroes that he has left that he normally plays, Bat Rider pretty much, but that was banned out in the first stage. So never mind that. Maybe we get to see the return of Winter Centaur. Earlier in some previous patches, it was like his go-to hero, so maybe we get to see that again.
Yeah, Centaur, he's still a useful hero. I think a lot of teams though they just realize that you want those other off lanes that give you more than a Centaur does. Because Centaur he kind of falls off because he's kind of in the middle between utility slash damage. He's not like a Clockwork where he's got a lot of utility such as giving you vision, long range initiation, as well as being able to zone people out with the cogs. Centaur, he's mainly a hero where you focus down on going for those quick ganks, going for those really quick and easy kills with the hoof stomp double edge combo, and also having the stampede as an initiation. The weakness of a Centaur actually is that as an offlaner, he finds it very difficult to come back if he gets behind. So if he can't get those levels, if he can't get the farm or the levels, then he can't really go into the jungle to farm because he farms really slowly as an offlaner. Yes, he has a double edge combo, I suppose, but he needs those tranquil boots, and if you're not getting anything in the off lane, your tranquil boots are going to be coming extremely slowly. So there is a weakness of the Centaur, but if you can find farm on him, he's such a good hero when he has that early blink dagger, because they can roam around with the Sand King and Lina and go for those swift and easy kills, because there are a lot of very soft heroes on MVP Hot 6. We're going to get a final Morphling pickup though. I don't know. I feel like it's a little bit greedy for the Morphling, but then again, I don't know. I feel like he is greedy. Is it position 4 Morphling?
I don't think so. I think it's Scarith Mage and Zeus as the supports, and then Morphling will go mid, Juggernaut safe, and Axe to the offlane. But there is potential to see that stunning Morphling. It really just depends on how they want to shake this down. GGuard actually going to pick up a Shadow Demon. Huh. How are these lanes going to shake down for them? There is some aggressive potential.
I feel like it's a tri-lane. But I don't know if it's going to be with the Troll Warlord as the core farmer in the tri-lane, or if they're going to go as the Lina Sand King Shadow Demon combo. They are pretty strong as 3 supports, though.
Okay, so how I think this is going to shake down is we'll have Lina towards the mid, Storm Spirit solo safe against the Axe, and then Troll Warlord is the farming core in the aggressive tri-lane.
Yeah, that can work too, yeah. I could see that happening as well. But you never know. GGuard can just kind of pop something in front of us and say, okay, audience, this is what we're going to give you. You kind of got to figure out. But Ben is going to be playing the Troll Warlord. We'll see what they have to go for.
I really expect MVP Hot 6 to change their hero assignments at the moment. Jarex is on the Morphling and MP's on the Zeus. That means it's a He and Skyrath Mage.
They have to. That's way...
No? Okay, there we go. Frev's going to be on the Morphling. That makes sense. Alrighty, so let's introduce our teams as we get into this game. Frev is going to be playing on that Morphling, as I've already mentioned. Heen on the Skyrath Mage. Zeus is going to still be played by MP. He's going mid. Jarex on the Axe, potentially jungle, and Juggernaut by Soonby.
So, yeah, on the side of GGuard, though, everyone's going on towards the bottom lane. They are all smoked up. We've got the Net Sand King leading the way. Yamate playing on our Storm Spirit. We've Ben on the Troll Warlord. On our Shadow Demon, we have Ling. And lastly, we have Winter on the Lina. So, Winter going to be handling the Lina this game. Interesting.
Soonby going to bump into the Sand King. Let's see if they can get the Burrow Strike off. It is going to connect. Do they have the follow-up before he's able to get the spin off? They do. Light Strike Array connects. Soonby's able to get the spin eventually, but first blood is already drawn by Winter. They'll lose net in return, although it's still a really good trade for GGuard. Maybe even the Lina's the farming core in this tri-lane. It might not be over yet. Waiting for these supports to come around the corner and potentially drop a ward. Looks like that's not going to happen. They're just going to secure the vision for themselves, blocking off the pull through camp.
Yeah, so at least they grab a kill, although... They kind of gave away a little bit of EXP to the Zeus, as well as, who else did they give it to? They gave it to the Axe, Skyrath Mage. So Heen as well as MP, they managed to get pretty good levels off of that kill though. So the Skyrath Mage and Zeus, they're going to do relatively well in their lanes. So unfortunately, or actually the rune's still there, Morphling will manage to get it. So I thought Net would have been able to pick up the bounty rune, but unfortunately Forever a little bit too fat for him, so the Morphling will manage to pick up the shiny yellow rune this time, halfway to level 2. But yeah, offlane Morphling, he won't do too badly up against the Troll Warlord, but I'm not expecting him to do that well either.
Yeah, offlane Morphling, how it functions is you just get experience to get that adaptive strike running, so you can look for ganks. And with the damage they have from the Zeus and Jug, that 4-second stun is absurd once level 7 comes out from Forev. So there is killing potential, but I think more interesting still is that GGuard are going to drop the Lina as the farming core in the bottom lane. Shadow Demon Disruption is devastating. If they can get that disruption off onto anybody, you'll follow up with a Burrow Strike, follow up with a Light Strike Array, or vice versa. And kills are soon to follow. The Juggernaut is going to have anything but a free time, and since they are running this Jungle Axe, there's not much that MVP Hot6 can actually do to stop that.
Oh, Net, he actually checked this camp here to see if Jirax was farming it, but unfortunately he just kind of left the moment Jirax got to the lane. So Net, he's going to check this camp, and he's going to say, okay, he's not here either. So where is the axe? He is going to kind of wander around, but he's going to be there with the Arcane Bolts to just kind of zone out the Sand King at this point. But like you mentioned, there's so much kill potential in this bottom aggressive tri-lane from GGuard. The moment they actually hit level 2 on the Shadow Demon, he can grab that first point into Soul Catcher, and that 20% bonus damage will decimate Sunby, Scarab Mage, even Jirax on the axe. So I feel like this tri-lane, it's very deadly, but they are going to be struggling in getting those levels because for the moment Sunby is in here by himself, so he's getting the solo EXP, whereas the supports on GGuard, they're going to have to rotate around, so they're going to give Winter that farm. And there is going to be a D-Ward though, so unfortunately this Observer Ward, not long for this world, taken down by GGuard already. And he will spot out Net. Ling is there, but I think they're kind of trying to bait the Scarab Mage. They do not know Jerax is there. Berserker's Call, he doesn't have it, but he has Battle Hunger. A little bit too greedy there, so Net may go down to the Battle Hunger. Actually, I think he might survive just because, never mind. He is so dead. Good stuff there. Really nice baits coming up from MVP Hot6. GGuard, they thought they could go for a nice and quick pick off onto the Scarab Mage, but not quite so.
Yeah, they expected Jerax to be farming, not to be right around that corner. It was pretty greedy of Net to be there, to be fair, but either way. Morphling is being zoned out by the Troll Warlord. Forev is going to have to take the long road home, and is kind of struggling, even though it is just a 1v1 lane. Morphling in the off lane is not known as a lane dominator, and probably shouldn't be. The biggest issue with GGuard's killing potential, especially onto Sunby, is that they're going to have to somehow bait out the spin first, so we'll see when they're able to do that, but for the time being, the de facto win is going towards the Radiant side, since their axe was involved in that one kill. Somebody is getting slowed down a lot, however.
Yeah, mid though, we actually have a smoke on Net, and he wants to try and grab a kill onto MP. Now keep in mind, Zeus, very easy pick off. Even though Yamate's low, I feel like he's going to try and use himself as a bait so that Net can come in around from the backside. And while the courier just came in, there's the pull coming up from Yamate. There's going to be the stun followed up by Net. Jirax is here though, so that's going to force everyone on GGuard back. Yamate cannot afford to be caught out by anything. There's going to be the bolt, and unfortunately, there's going to be no battle hunger thrown onto anybody because I believe that was cancelled. Who did he throw onto initially?
I really have no idea, but it is actually a full Battle Hunger build coming out from Jerax, as he's committed 2 points into that, which is, yeah, a little bit questionable, but it is going to allow him to contribute more to these fights than if he just went for the spin build to farm up in woods faster.
Yeah, it's going to be annoying though, especially when you try and go for the fights, because if you don't manage to get the kill with the full Battle Hunger duration on, there are some very squishy heroes on the side of GGuard, and they can't really afford to take damage when they're also taking Battle Hunger damage. So I feel like this cute little roaming build coming up from Jerax, it's going to work. As long as he doesn't get killed off anyway, because there is a lot of disables on the side of GGuard. They can kill him off if they want to. MP though, in the middle lane. He looks like he will go down this time. Actually, never mind. That hit never connected by Yamate, but Net just going to kind of push over the Zeus, and that's going to be about it. But actually, Yamate going to run into so many heroes and nowhere to really hit any creeps, so that's going to be the kill onto Yamate. Popped his magic one to kind of survive a little bit longer, but the right click's coming out from Keen. They actually don't manage to get him, but never mind. 4F came in. Waveform going to finish him off. They managed to kill off the axe, but looks like Net might finish. Nope. He gets out quickly. He's a very quick Scorpion. Never mind, he's looking for blood. He wants one right click as well as an Arcane Bolt. Can he find it though? Nice jukes coming out from Net, and he will live for another day.
Net ends up surviving, tying up the kill score 3-3. Stormspirit, although dying, makes the best out of a bad situation. Yamate currently sitting at 1-1-1. The biggest difference is that GGuard are getting a lot of farm on their side lanes. Ben is uncontested by the Morphling. Morphling's 4-2 compared to a Troll that's 26-7. And after the early start for Winter, he's 30-14 against Sunbi. He has his phase boots running and a lot of base damage advantage and range advantage over the Jug. And really, there's no momentum for either of these two heroes. The supports have been tied up trying to stop the kills from happening, the Scarith Mage and the Axe. But in the end, GGuard are getting a major advantage in the farm department.
Yeah, it's something that GGuard, they're going to be happy about. They're just rotating supports, really, to defend up any of these heroes or just to try and go for ganks. So it's just freeing up everyone else in the side lanes. Now, Ben, it's a Morphling matchup. What are you going to really expect? Unless they go for an aggressive tri-lane to just try and shut down the Troll, he's going to get free farm. So they can't really do anything about that. I'm surprised that Sunbi is not doing as well as you thought he may have in this bottom lane. I think he's just not very confident being anywhere around the Lina. He's just constantly afraid of being ganked up by those two supports on the side of GGuard because they're everywhere. They've been all over the map. They've been around roaming. They've been around ganking. So MVP Hot6, they just don't have constant vision of the supports up top. They've been. He's going to be jumped on by Heen as well as Forever. But do they have enough damage to finish him off? Lina down the bottom lane, though, is going to be able to do a solo kill, surprisingly enough, onto Sunbi on the Juggernaut. He didn't even use the spin as well. I think he just didn't respect the damage coming out from Win.
No, once the Light Strike Array lands, at that point it's all over for the Juggernaut. He needs to dodge it. I'm lagging out. The stream is dying. I have no idea what... Okay, my internet just had like a major hiccup. The stream is going to end up falling for a couple of seconds. Okay, so hopefully I'm back. I'm still not back into the game.
Okay. Alright, are you alright now?
I'm trying to reconnect.
Okay, I'll just keep casting from here on out, but there was a nice kill under the Troll Warlord, but unfortunately, the Scarith Mage is going to drop down. That's pretty much all that really happened. Net has to go back to the fountain, really, though. He's gone for Tranquil Boots on his Sand King, so it's going to be predominantly that roaming Sand King. So he is going to have that constant HP regen to work with. They're going to have to rely on the Arcane Boots coming out from somebody else on the side of GGuard, probably coming out from the Shadow Demon. He's only sitting on 200 gold. So Arcane Boots, pretty far away though, but unfortunately for it though, he's going to be the target for Yamate, who's got the level 6 lightning ball, sorry, but will they actually get the Morphling though? Forev is pretty tanky, 800 HP. They're going to show themselves. There is a Observer Ward in the lane, so GGuard have 100% vision onto Forev, but they won't get him. Just going to throw the Shadow Poison, and that's pretty much about it. Everyone's just going to leave the lane.
Okay, so apparently there's some sort of construction going on. I have no idea what's happening, but there's a lot of background noise, so hopefully that's going to die down shortly. But either way, apologies. The last couple seconds of this stream have been really, really sketch. Okay, so back into this game. GGuard still with a pretty comfortable farm advantage. I'm actually really surprised about Morphling's build. He's building as if he is a farming Morphling, and he's not getting the farm. He's has the Tranquil Boots and Bottle, which is pretty standard for offlane Morph, to be fair, but he's forgone points into Adaptive Strike. This is going to delay his effectiveness until level 9 or 10.
Yeah, oh god, I hear another Laguna Blade. Tried to go for another kill on a Sunbi, but he manages to survive with about 150 HP, but Winter, he's looking for blood. He wants to try and go for a Dragon Slave. Not going to connect onto Sunbi. They will have to, kind of have to go through a couple of tower shots, and Jirax, so he wants Winter. Is going to come around through the backside, but they have vision because there's an Observer Ward. So Ling, there's a disruption. That's going to give Winter enough time to go for the Light Strike Array. Can they kill him off though? Jirax is still pretty squishy, even though he might have the Berserker's Call. He didn't even pop it as of yet. So that's going to be Jirax getting out alive. They don't get a kill onto Winter, but Yamate's down in this bottom lane. So the whole team is actually looking for blood at this point, except for Ben, who's still in the top lane, as well as Net, who's going to be jungling up that Blink Dagger. Sitting about 900 gold, but he should get that up at about the 15-minute mark, more or less, depending on whether he commits to farming or if he wants to go around and go for those constant ganks. But Yamate, leaving the bottom lane, wants to go mid, because Forev, he's here. Probably just going to throw it for a couple of harassment shots, and then he'll just probably leave him alone. Never mind, just going to keep on farming Forev. He's doing okay on this Morphling, but he's going to come online pretty late, if you think about it. He hasn't really had too much farm, 17 CS. I guess he is a little bit behind the Jug, so not too far silent. So onto Yamate, look how much damage came through! Thunder God's Wrath as well, so that's going to be a dead Storm Spirit. They were not expecting that gank coming out from the Scarith Mage.
And honestly, I don't think they expected for Ev's build. It's very rare to see waveforms so highly prioritized on your offlane Morphlings. The amplified damage on the Waveform plus the Zeus ultimate was ridiculous. They'll be able to get a very high priority kill because of it, but even so, GGuard are still farming well on pretty much everybody, really. They have a Yule Scepter now for the Lina, so Winter can set up kills by herself. Maybe not on the Jug, maybe not on the Morphling, but every other hero on the side of MVP Hot6 really needs to be afraid of Winter's Burst.
Yeah, because Winters has been getting a lot of space in the bottom lane, so he's a force to be reckoned with. He's got more CS than the Troll, which you got to think about it, Ben. He's been in this top lane completely uncontested, and somehow Winters still manages to get more CS than him. How is that possible? Do you count heroes as CS? I don't think so. So Winter doing very well this game. I hope he maintains this momentum because he had a very rough game last game as a very, very difficult bat rider. We have an invisible Forev though, following after Yamate. And it looks like everyone on MVP Hot6 wants to try and go for a jump in the bottom lane, although they spot net with Forev. That's going to back up there. I think they know this is coming. There was an observer that spotted out Sunby heading in this direction, so I think everyone on the side of GGuard, oh never mind, they're going to go for a smoke. So they're going to try and go in this sneaky way and see if they can find a kill. There's even going to be a line drawn out by the Scarab Mage, so they know that something's actually happening. And Sunby, well, he is probably going to be in a very bad spot because he'll be sandwiched in by 4 heroes. Yamate from the right, whereas there's 3 more heroes waiting for him on the left-hand side. He's going to be hiding behind the tree line. There's no vision as of yet, but Yamate can jump in whenever he's ready. The creeps will spot him out. Net's going to come in. Oh, God. Is there going to be TP rotations? Everyone on the side of MVP is going up top. There's a zip in. Sunby. There's going to be the spin, though. Are there going to be TP rotations? Net's taking a lot of damage. Omni Slash is not available because there's not enough mana. And there's going to be the TPs. There's the Morphling first, as well as the Scarab Mage coming in second. Thundergod's Wrath. Net dropping very low. Adaptive Strike going to keep him in place. Silenced up. He's going to go down. Yamate, he's pretty low. Winter going to finish off the Juggernaut with the Laguna Blade, though. But for if he wants to try and grab another kill, he's going to be damaged up by Yamate. Couple more zips, and that's going to be the end of the Scarab Mage. 3 heroes down for GGuard, though, and they're going to get Yamate as well. 4 down, only getting 2. GGuard, they wanted to go for a quick and easy kill, but it didn't quite happen. They took a little bit too long, and, well, they hung around and they died. And we now have a blink on Jirax at 12 minutes into the game.
That was a really, really sketchy engagement by GGuard. They come in from all angles, but then are a little hesitant and get split up in their initiation. Net goes in, the Storm Spirit decides that he kind of wants to go out, but then decides to Soul Ring, zip back in, and although he does get the kill onto the Scarab Mage, he's left with no mana, and right in front of the heroes coming out from MVP Hot6, that momentum is going to be now swung back into their favor, and even though up until this point GGuard were out farming them, as you mentioned, the Blink Dagger coming out from a position 4 axe at a really reasonable time for Jirax. In fact, he's the 2nd highest net worth in the game. And Zeus also picking up a lot of momentum there. And that's level 9 for Morph. So really all of these heroes are starting to come online with the tools that they need to make kills happen.
Yeah, so this game, the offlane Morphling is really working out for MVP Hot6. I don't want to say this, but a lot of the times offlane Morphlings have been a burden. I have seen it work to some extent, but it's more or less a niche pick. You don't pick it up all the time. I feel like they drafted this Morphling just in case, even though the Juggernaut might have done badly, then at least Forev would have been able to, you could say, be that backup late game carry if necessary, but he won't be running on too much farm. It's going to be relying on a lot of the kills. Thundergod's Wrath, just to scout out where everyone is. I think they were trying to go for a kill into Winter. He will go down to the battle hunger, but Jirax, they're in the backlines. With that, just going to go for a bit of a tussle. The tower not working in his favor. His Blink Dagger coming off cooldown, and he will get out of there. So unfortunately, no counter kill going in the way of GGuard in the mid lane though. Forev, he's bottled himself up, and he is in the tree line waiting for a kill.
He has the maxed out waveform, as well as 3 points up in the adaptive strike. He's going to jump, waveform forward, stun onto Yamate, going to last for about 3 seconds, silence up, spun down. Yamate is going to end up losing his life after I have a bit of a hiccup. But regardless, GGuard are going to end up losing 2 of their very high priority targets, and well, it doesn't really cost MVP Hot6 that much. It's going to be a really big swing in their favor.
Man, MVP, they're just getting so many kills, and I feel like GGuard's over-aggression is really working against them in the backlines. Though Forev just went for an adaptive strike onto the Shadow Demon. Lena's going to go for the combo onto Forev. Now, this is a Morphling. He's very tanky. Berserker's Call, Blink coming in from Jirax, Mystic Flare, and that's going to be the end of Winter. Man, 3 heroes down, and this tower is definitely going to go down for MVP. These fights, every time GGuard tries to engage into MVP, they can't burst them down fast enough, or somehow MVP, they can stall it long enough so that there's going to be backup. And every time MVP jumps in, the fights go so quickly that GGuard just can't be quick enough to reinforce a net Oh god, he is so close. If he just walked around the corner, he would have ran into Jerax, but I think he knows what's happening. He blinks into the creeps, and well, Net, he knew something was up. He blinks out immediately. So these two heroes with their blink daggers, actually not even a blink dagger, Net just burrow striked out of there. Sorry, for some reason I thought he had a blink dagger, but yeah, I'm blind.
Well, in most games, Net would have a blink at this point, but really he's been prioritizing the roaming and getting kills a little bit more this game and hasn't had the time to farm, especially after that fight down towards bottom. If they had won that in a convincing fashion, I'm tempted to say Sand King would have it by now. But regardless, the magic burst damage combination from MVP Hot6 is really showing its colors at the moment. Between the Skywrath Mage, Zeus, and heck, even the Juggernaut with a maxed out spin, they're all contributing a lot to these fights at the moment. And GGuard, it doesn't seem that they're really very well prepared for it. That last engagement, Forev got so much value out of the Sport Morphling. He got like 3 max strength adaptive strike stuns onto them. And that's pretty absurd. He's going to be sending out himself a Staff of Wizardry, presumably for a Yule Scepter for Forev. But at the moment, the Morph can set up kills as long as he's partnered up with either the Zeus or the Skywrath Mage or Juggernaut.
Yeah, well, with the long stun duration, you need someone to deal the damage, right? Your strength morphling's not going to really do it for you, unfortunately. Invisibility rune, there's going to be the adaptive strike onto Yamate. Can they finish him off? I think it's just for some harassment. Never mind, there's a silence Mystic Flare trying to go for the Thunder God's Wrath as well, but can they finish him off? There's going to be the stick charges to keep him alive for a little bit longer, and he is going to zip out to the T2 tower and right to the base. So, unfortunately, miskilled opportunity there for MVP Hot6, but at least they sent Yamate back to base, I suppose, just to kind of waste his time.
Yeah, unfortunate that Forev didn't wait just a little bit longer for Skywrath Mage to get in there. They were able to just time it perfectly in order to get the silence off by the Skywrath Mage, but there wasn't enough damage. They just needed 1 or 2 more Arcane Bolts to land or somebody else to be involved with that Invis. I'm not sure how long it had duration-wise, but it's too bad that Forev wasn't able to get that to happen. Net over in the sidelines does have his Blink Dagger, and maybe they can catch off guard the enemy team. Epi. And the Blink Burrow to follow it up, going straight onto Forev with the Laguna Blade and everything, and the Kitchen Sink throwing at the Morphling. They'll be able to bring him down, even with his pretty absurd strength pool. GGuard end up getting a kill, but does cost them a lot of ultimate cooldowns.
Yeah, but it's a very tanky Morphling. You have to commit these spells if you want to kill someone as tanky as him. I guess with the axe, it's a bit of a different story. He's still a little bit squishy, so you can be a little bit more lenient with the axe, but with Forev on that Morphling, he's very tanky. You have to commit all these spells, otherwise you're not getting that kill on him. He can just always waveform out if completely necessary. In the middle lane, though, we're going to have Yamate converge with MP, but, well, look at all the damage thrown out by MP on that Zeus, and Yamate's out of there quicker than he actually got in. Ben, though, we haven't really said much about Ben. He's still farming away those items. He's actually sitting at about 5.6k net worth. In all honesty, I thought he would have had more net worth than this. He hasn't participated in any of the team fights, but Winter's still ahead. Maybe it's just Winter farming well with his Light Strike Array as well as the Dragon Slave and maybe getting kills.
Yeah,
but Ben, though, the Troll's just not farming that well.
Yeah, unfortunately for GGuard, they haven't been able to activate him and get him involved in these engagements. To be fair, even if he came in, he'd probably just end up getting things like this happen to him. Defensive Stratagem disrupting, going to help out Yamate avoid the majority of that Mystic Flare, and I believe the Zeus ultimate. That's going to save his life.
Yeah, I don't think he would have died. I think Ling would have still be there. If Ling wasn't there, I think Yamate would have definitely died though. So, yeah, good stuff there for GGuard. They were very aware of what happened, and they're there to save their teammates. And that's going to be some big ultimates off cooldown as well. The Thunder God's Wrath as well as... Actually, I don't even want to count Morphling's ultimate as an ability, because what does it even do this game? It's just an illusion. I guess it's just an escape mechanism. But yeah, the biggest ultimate, I guess, on the side of MVP is down. Meanwhile, Ben's still farming. I don't know, there's not really that much to say this game. It's mostly been MVP on the aggression. GGuard, they're constantly having to play aggressive. They're getting picked off. It's not because they're lacking ward vision. I guess for the moment they are, just because there's really nothing to help them find out where some of these heroes are. Forev hiding behind the tree line up top, but everyone's already TP'd out of there because they know that something's up. So everyone's gone down. They're going to converge together in the bottom lane and go for a smoke. Now there is only one hero down here, and that's Sunby. This tower is 7 HP from deny range, so he's just going to sit here and try and guard it with his life. Blink forward, Burrow Strike, actually beautiful timing on the spin coming out from the Juggernaut, so that's going to be a missed kill opportunity. Up top, they're going to grab the tower, and I think it's going to be the same down bottom, unless they go for a TP. TP mid, Sunbee's just out of there. They're going to give the tower away. 1-for-1 trade, it's absolutely fine.
Zeus ultimate dropped, and, well, at level 2 ultimate, MP at level 11, does quite a chunk of damage to GGuard and spots out their entire team. Well, it's going to be a tier 1 for tier 1 trade after all is said and done, so I don't think GGuard are going to be too heartbroken about it, but they really, really wanted that Juggernaut kill. They commit a lot of time for it, and oh no, Ben, spotted out by this Observer Ward, is going to get jumped, wait for him forward with the Adaptive Strike, 4-second stun applied onto him. Ben in a bit of a pickle here as they bring in the Juggernaut, who Omni slashes him down with no backup close. It's a really easy kill for the MVP Hot6 side, set up by their aggressive wards.
Yeah. So good stuff there for MVP. They're just constantly grabbing kills, whereas GGuard, they're trying to do the same rotations, but it's just not working. They don't really have the vision to spot the heroes out, but there are two going down bottom. Adaptive Strike onto Winter. He is so dead. Going to be blown up with the Mystic Flare. Ling silenced up in the backline. Spin coming up from Sunbee. Yamate, who's actually down to quite a little bit of mana. He will manage to TP out. Never mind, Adaptive Strike! Oh god, the cooldown on that is so low. They will get the kill onto Yamate. Then he's going to be the next one to go down. He's got no way to get out of there. He's going to be dunked by the axe down bottom there. We have Net stuck in the trees. TP is off cooldown, but I think he wants to hang around for a little bit longer. But absolutely disastrous there for GGuard. I don't know what's happened. I feel like they just lost their mojo since game 2.
Yeah, and really those early game ganks didn't go as well as they wanted to, and Ben gonna get called in mid. 2 spins from the axe. Jerix doesn't have enough damage by himself to get this kill. But really, it does feel like GGuard aren't playing as much as a 5-man unit. They're getting picked off one by one, and, well, that's really what the MVP Hot6 team excels at. Just Adaptive Strike one, focus them down, move on to the next one. And, well, GGuard, they need to bring Ben into these engagements. He's 0-2-1 on the Troll. If he's not fighting with the team, then... Blink Burrow Strike, the Laguna Blade, straight into the Morphling. They'll be able to kill off one at the very least. So that's nice and all. It doesn't get them back into this game, however. He is only an offlane hero. It's a nice pick off for sure, and GGuard would like more of that, but the large-scale engagements have by and large gone into MVP Hot6's favor.
Yeah, God, so many resources just to grab that one kill. If GGuard just, I think that for the moment they're just going to have to sit back, avoid being ganked, and just go for those one hero pickoffs if necessary. They are behind net worth-wise. All 3 of their cores are under the 3 cores on the side of MVP Hot6. They're trying to go for a Roche, but this might be a bit of a misplay. There is an invisible Sunbee. Omni slash bends down. Yamate's going to try and go for the zip. He will get out. He's going to be hit by Sunbee a little bit more onto the high ground. He's going to be safe. They will get a kill onto the Morphling. Troll Warlord died. Oh, never mind. Ben already died anyway. So Morphling's going to come back. It's going to be a 4-on-5 engagement for GGuard. I think they just have to give up the Roche at this point. They wanted to try and go for a cheeky Roche, but they just got punished.
Yeah, at this point, they kind of need to go for those riskier moves in order to get back into this game, but it's going to be punished. The vision that the Radiant team have controlled is pretty crazy, and that Invis rune on Sunbee definitely not helping GGuard being able to kill off those 2 heroes in the backline so very easy. There's now a Blink Dagger up on the Zeus after the Veil. MP is absolutely dishing, even though it's been Heen for the majority of this series to be playing on the Zeus. MP is also playing it very admirably.
Yeah, this game, this Zeus has been so annoying. I don't know what GGuard could really do to come back into the game. They're trying to go for roams. It's not working. They're trying to go for pickoffs. They have to use a lot of resources. What do you think that GGuard's going to have to do at this point? I can't really give him any more suggestions. They're probably going to try and go for a kill onto Jerax here. I don't know if they spot him with the Remnant. I think they might. They will ping him out, though. But is this going to be a bit of a mistake? Yamate wants this. He's just hanging around.
He's so very tanky. With the Blade Mail and the Vanguard, he's going to try it. Gets a little bit closer. Yamate inching forward towards his prey. But he has a team behind him. He has this Morphling that's currently sitting on the same or similar items of the Storm Spirit, which is really scary based on how the early laning stage went for Forev, but ever since then, it's just been a snowball to what seems like MVP Hot6 getting near to victory. Winter and Sand King over in the side lanes, going to be spotted out by the Morphling. They're channeling the Sandstorm over the sidelines as they stun up Winter. Winter does have the Laguna Blade. They're going to commit an epicenter, but the Yule Scepter dodges all of that. They'll lose Net on the retreat, concussive shot, and just a little bit more tick damage coming out from Jerax. And now Winter is going to get Adaptive Strike, dunked down, double kill for Jerax. And now GGuard, they're going to be forced to defend tier 2 towers or maybe just lose a Roshan at the moment, although it's not over by any means for GGuard. MVP Hot6 are starting to roll with this game.
Yeah, God, the net worth, the EXP graphs and the gold graphs, they're just screaming MVP Hot6's game, GGuard, they had a bit of a lead for a while, but all of a sudden it's just completely snowballed in favor of MVP Hot6. And considering the fact that if you look at MVP's draft, they've run a dual core, and this is not just any dual core. Sunby as well as Forev, they're playing on some of the most elusive and highest damage dealing supports in the game. Although unfortunately Forev's not going to be going the damage route for a little bit, but it's still going to be quite a way. Jirax up top trying to go for a solo kill onto Yamate. Look how quickly he went down just to the axe, and there's a waveform forward by Forev. Unfortunately he cannot catch up to Yamate, so no adaptive strike, but mission accomplished. Roshan has been secured by MVP Hot6, our Korean squad, looking strong so far.
And they even give the Aegis over towards the Zeus. With a full mana and health pool, the Zeus can do so much damage, and really the likelihood of Juggernaut or Morphling and Axe dying is pretty slim. I think this is an alright choice, although under normal circumstances you'd see Juggernaut get it. MP, his bold spam and just dropping so many arcs inside these fights is doing so much work. There's a blink dagger up for the Jug. He can very easily get in range for an Omni Slash if a target shows itself, although he doesn't want to go for Yamate. With the Yule Scepter and the Ball Lightning, he at the very least should be safe. But the rest of GGuard, not so much. Tier 2 tower is going to be pressured out by MVP Hot6, and GGuard are nowhere in sight. This is going to be free for them.
Yeah, it's free. GGuard, they just cannot contest these towers. They just don't have the tools as of yet. Yes, they have a Sand King. Yes, they have a Storm Spirit. They've got a lot of initiation potential, but these heroes, a lot of the times they just get shut down when they go into the fights. They're always going to have constant vision of the Sand King with the Thunder God's Wrath. They're always going to have that disable for Yamate when he tries to go for the jump in. There's even a Berserker's Call. There's an Omni Slash if they try and jump onto Sunby. There's just so many factors that pretty much work against GGuard that it's so hard for them to even try and fight into MVP. But there's still hope for our Malaysian squad here. They just have to try and find some of those clutch kills. They just have to wait for MVP to go for a slip up. This might be it though. Sunby going to be a pretty hard target. Can they grab it though? There's going to be the epicenter as well as the Burrow Strike, and they get a nice kill onto Sunby, the Juggernaut. So GGuard, that's one step in the right direction. Even though they have to commit the epicenter for the kill, at least they grab it. And that's a core hero on the side of MVP down. And this tower's going to go down as well. But they will lose mid.
Yeah, that's the big issue for them, but it does get them an Aghanim Scepter on the Lina, so that is going to give them a big tool to bring down these tankier targets on the side of Hot6 in the subsequent fights. For the time being, I'll call that pretty even. Juggernaut plus tier 1 for a tier 2. But at the moment, GGuard will take any trade that they can get. They're in no situation where they can comfortably take fights. They're just lucky that the Juggernaut didn't have an Aegis.
Yeah, they're very lucky about that. But I'm looking at Ben now, Natural Warlord. It looks like he's just gone budget shopping. He hasn't really committed to a big item yet. He is going to go for a BKB as his first, you could say, big item pickup. But aside from that, it's been a Ring of Bassi, a Yasha, and a Morbid Mask. He hasn't really gone for any of those big items aside from that BKB. So Ben, he's really struggling. He's spent most of the game farming. And when you have a Troll Warlord, he spent, you could say, 30 minutes of the game farming, and he has this. If you're in a pub game, your teammates are not happy. They're probably just reporting you at that point. But Ben, he's had a very rough game. He needs to fight, but he just doesn't really have the HP pool or the tools to help him in those fights. So it's just very difficult for GGuard to really do anything with that Troll. Yeah, Troll's a very strong hero, but if your Troll's on a bad start and you don't have a hero to really be that carry until the Troll Warlord comes online, you're in a bad spot.
For sure. At the moment, BKB is mandatory before he can join any engagements because of the Morphling, but even with the BKB, there's an Omni Slash and a Call awaiting if Yamate has an Invis, and maybe this can set something up for GGuard. But then again, he's alone, and nobody else is coming close. Yeah, for the time being, it's just going to be Yamate casually scouting the enemy team, and then it looks like he'll just push out top. It's going to be MVP Hot6 to group up. The Aegis is going to be around for another minute and a half or so. Let's see if they can actually get value off of it. Storm Spirit gonna cut the creep wave. This is going to make it harder for them to push the creeps, but Yamate, although he's going to be able to get out, I don't think he's going to save his tier 2. It's going to delay any push that would happen to the high ground, but this one creep wave should be more than enough with the healing word on the ground.
Yeah, GGuard's just using this opportunity to farm on other parts of the map. They've actually got 2 heroes down bottom. The deadly duo, Net and Winter, they've been stuck together. They've been the only ones that have been able to really grab any kills. Everyone else on GGuard, they've just been passive. They've just been trying to keep themselves alive, grabbing any sort of scraps that they could get. Yamate, he's got a Yule Scepter, and it's 30 minutes into the game. You have a Yule Scepter and a Soul Ring. You're a very poor Storm Spirit, and you don't have the mana sustain that you normally would if you had a decent start. At this point, you'd probably have either an Orchid or a Bloodstone, anything to just give you some decent mana sustain, but he's running on budget items. I want to say this because it's not going to give him much. It will give him a little bit of survivability with the Yule Scepter just because it means that it might help him not get called or not get chopped or, you know, just not get blown up in general. But he is a very poor Storm Spirit, very low kill potential on his own. He needs teammates with him to go for solo kills, unless it's, for example, maybe a Scarith Mage by himself. But even then, he could probably kill Yamate on his own if Yamate is not, if he's not prepared anyway.
Yeah, GGuard have, for the most part, been forced into these budget items and aren't fighting particularly well with them. Aegis was reclaimed, so maybe this is an opportunity for GGuard to make a defense, even though it is MVP Hot6 with the advantage. Pushing high ground is always a different beast entirely. They'll just look for some D wards and keep on strangling out the map vision. That's really been hard for GGuard to deal with. They only have this one ward out by the Ancients, and that really just doesn't cut it. It's not spotting out anything. It might keep tabs on Juggernaut while he's farming that, but actually killing off the Jug's an entire different story.
Yeah, this Jug is pretty big, and he has the Blink dagger now. So Sunby, he's gonna go for these kills. He's gonna go for the jumps. He's gonna go for the Blink Omni Slash things. And what can GGuard really do? I guess they have a couple of defensive capabilities. Net though, he wanted to try and go for some farm. He's gonna Burrow Strike as well as Blink into the tree. So unfortunately, Jerax, if Net was there and TPing, he would have been caught by Jerax. But no. He'll be stuck in the trees for a little bit, but Blink Dagger will be off cooldown soon, and he'll be home free for that moment, but Net, at least he got out. I think that's the biggest thing. They can't afford to lose Net. Net and Winter have been the only two heroes that have really been able to get any sort of scraps, I guess. Smoke, though, coming out from GGuard. They're trying to go for an aggressive play, and they need to find something. Can they find anything in the top lane? MVP is currently split up. Will they actually get there before the other two heroes in the mid lane, Heen as well as Forev, join up with the team? If they can, maybe grab 1 or 2 kills with this, then maybe the game flips in their favor. But for the moment, let's see if they can find it.
This is the fight that they need. They have a BKB on their troll. As far as immediate leaps in power, they're not going to get much stronger in the foreseeable future. So if GGuard could have caught out somebody from MVP out alone, that could have been great, but I'm pretty sure they were spotted out by this Observer Ward when they smoked up, and even if they weren't, they're grouped up, although now Zeus walks into the wrong corner of the neighborhood. It's going to get bursted down by the Laguna Blade, shot down. Morphling going to wait for him over the trees, trying to catch somebody on the retreat. GGuard get their pick and try to TP out. Yule Scepter going to cancel the TP of Net, however he's going to force a Sandstorm, then the Adaptive Strike comes through with a Mystic Flare, and Juggernaut wailing onto him. Net is going to be not more than a blood splatter on the ground, and that's a 1-for-1 trade. GGuard will be happy with it since they get the mid Zeus, but they also have to commit everything.
Yeah, they commit everything and they lose a support here in the process, but I feel like this is the only way they can really do anything as a team. They just have to try and get those really small pickoffs on the side of MVP. They just cannot afford to fight into them head on. So hopefully they can just keep on going in this direction, just grab those pickoffs, hopefully grab some items in the process. It's going to be a slow process because they don't have the entire map to work with, and Forev, he wants to try and jump onto Yamate here. He actually yules himself into the air, and actually, never mind, I think he yules. Yeah, he actually yules Forev himself. There's the Adaptive Strike. He starts there. Ben, though, does he really want to help his teammate? Yamate's going to go down, chop down Ben. He popped his BKB. He has to TP out, but Berserker's Call coming off cooldown. No, it won't be in time. They're going to see if they can find anyone else, but everyone has tried to disperse Ling. Oh, poor Ling, the Shadow Demon. He's gone, and that's a gem as well on the deck. So that's 800 gold essentially in items going in the way of MVP. It's still there. All right.
They can't see it over all of the blood. Zeus going to end up getting killed off by Winter. But yeah, really, that's not the way that they wanted to use the 10-second BKB from the troll either. They don't get anything and, in fact, lose the trade. Although Winter does get a good pick onto the Zeus, it's by no means going to remedy that fact. The gem is going to be reclaimed by GGuard sooner rather than later. I don't think that they even noticed it was dropped. So at the very least, they have that going for them. So they aren't going to lose that precious True Sight. Or are they? I don't know. Sunbi is close by, but
they probably thought they lost it at this point, so they're just going to kind of leave it there. There is a ping. Was that the Scarith Mage ping?
Potentially.
There's an orange ping. They're going to send an illusion at least. They should see this. There's a ping. They want TP scroll. They actually pinged the TP scroll instead, but they get the gem. Oh god, if they didn't look for the TP scroll.
No, I think they were just trying to find the gem. It was really kind of an awkward spot because all of that Culling Blade blood was covering it up. It was actually really hard to see.
Yeah, I kind of thought that they just forgot about it in general, but unfortunately, if GGuard knew that the gem was there, they would have been able to recover it with the courier at least. So, unfortunate for GGuard, their precious gem on the deck, and now on 4 of that really tanky Morphling who's picked up a Ghost Scepter. So he will be a little bit more vulnerable to Magical Burst once he pops himself into the Ghost Scepter form, but it's going to protect him from the Troll Warlord, which I feel like is going to be his only problem. But then again, the Troll's still really poor. He's not rocking any big items. He's still got the defensive BKB. He's sitting in base. That's how afraid Ben is to leave that base. He's just so scared of being stunned up by the Morphling and just dying to the burst on the side of MVP. So what can he really do? He's got to pretty much farm with 4 heroes waiting behind him.
Yeah, and that's really a bad place for GGuard to be in. The gank squad from MVP Hot6 is putting the fear of God into them. And, well, the god that they have on their side is Zeus. The damage that MP's been pumping out is ridiculous. Roshan's going to respawn in a mere matter of seconds. And it looks like Jerix is just going to be a living ward as they wait for that. Why not? There's a Blink Dagger now up on the Morphling. As if he needed any more range of initiation. Blink Burrow Strike is going to miss. As Forev actually went aggressive, going to stun up Winter as Jerix tries to follow up. Defensive Shadow Demon Disruption. It's going to buy some time, but the Omnis actually rips through the Troll. And the entire GGuard lineup. Fuel Scepter over onto the Storm is going to delay it. Now he's going to look for a zip. And zipping forward, he does not have a TP. Yamte trying to save his life is over on the sidelines. Laguna Blade over into Sunbi. Sunbi dropping low. The right-click damage from Lina is going to be enough to get that kill at the cost of Ling's own life. Jerix is still chasing. The Storm Spirit still over in the corner as the Mystic Flare finishes him off. Zeus is actually going to get that kill, but regardless, it's a 1-for-3 trade, although they kill off the Juggernaut, and that's really good. For GGuard, it's not good enough to make up for this fact.
There's a DC.
Yeah, he's disconnected, and they're going to wait for him because he might have buyback, but in reality, he doesn't. So we're just going to chill. And nothing but silence.
All right, back to the poor screen. I guess we can take a look at some of the smaller stats while we wait for this game to resume eventually. But man, GGuard, they just wanted 1 kill. But they couldn't even find it because MVP, they were stuck together. They bought enough time. They lose their Juggernaut. Yeah, he's a big part of their damage, but they can still function without that Jug. They still have the Scarab Mage, they still have Axe, they've got Morphling, they've got Zeus. They've got plenty of damage to work on, and that Veal is hurting these GGuard heroes. They're still all pretty squishy. They're all no one's even close to 2k HP, not even the Troll Warlord. I'm pretty sure before he died, I checked his HP, he only sits at about 1.3k, so Troll can still be brought down by these heroes, but oh man, it's looking really rough for GGuard. This second game, first game, they looked absolutely dominant. MVP had no chance to come back. Second game, it looked like they had a chance to actually take the game, but unfortunately, due to a couple of team fights that just didn't go too well because their draft didn't allow it, they couldn't take the second game. Third game, they had a really good-looking draft, but execution-wise, MVP just felt like they've outplayed them so far.
Morphling comes in as Winter combos down the illusion. Winter blown up. Jerix godlike. Epicenter over in the sidelines. Doesn't hit onto anything important. Yule Scepter, they're going to get a couple of ticks onto Jerix, but he's too damn tanky with the heart. They're going to be able to get him Adaptive Strike stun onto net, and they're just bleeding heroes at this point. GGuard lose 3, and now the tier 3 tower is going to end up falling in suit.
Yeah, so this is going to be the first set of Raxas down in the game. Looks like they could probably take another T3 tower if they want to, but never mind. GGuard, they call the game. So MVP Hot6 managing to secure the first $500 in this GGuard challenge.
Yeah.
And it was a very rough game for GGuard. It was
really
painful to watch. Yeah.
There was just no momentum going for them outside of the very early laning stage. I thought after that start, with all of the farm they were getting on the Troll, Lina, and Storm Spirit, all 3 of them, they would be able to snowball that to something, but they just never got any wind under their sails. The Axe, his early aggressive rotations really worked out well for them. It's not something we see very often, the Battle Hunger build on Jerix, but it worked wonders, and that was supposed to be a position for Axe. He ended up one of the highest farmed heroes in the game, and really not to take anything away from the rest of the teammates. Morphling did a great job. I mean, everybody on GGuard played their part, and unfortunately for GGuard, it says GGuard for both of them. I meant MVP Hot6. Either way, that'll end the third game of the GGuard challenge as MVP Hot6 get a cool $500 for just this one series. So a pretty sweet deal there. We've been here on Ghost of TV1. I'm GrandisV. You can find me at GrandisV, and my co-caster, which I know you're all wanting to know about her social media. She's at Danelie Caston. Well, there you go. Over in the sidelines, that's where you can find us. Thanks for tuning in. That's it on this channel, at the very least, for the time being. If you want some more Dota over at hitbox.tv/yardfest, you can find the Yard Festival, I believe. Oh dear, I can't remember who's playing, but you can find Mike Loris over there. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on some future GGuard Challenge games.